Good morning everybody, welcome back to LilyLuLou. If you're new here, my name's Karen, I'm the Junk Journal Geek, and if you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for coming back and joining me today. Right, today I'm hoping to make the cover for this yellow and blue journal that we've been making. This is my design team project for April for Sani Creates, and it's taken me a lot longer than I thought it would. But I think I say that about most things as well. So I wanted to use for this cover a padded envelope, but the one that I had set aside to use wasn't quite big enough. So I found this. This is an Amazon envelope that's sort of padded, but it's not the same as a padded envelope. This is my fabric that's going to be the cover. So I thought I would make a start on this today, and what I'm hoping to do is sew the fabric to the cover and have the same fabric on the inside and the outside. But this is too tall, so I need to first of all get an idea of how tall I need this to be. And I was umming and ahhing about whether to use this, you know, keep it as a double thickness. I've just sealed the envelope, and I didn't know whether it would be too sort of stiff and not fold properly, but I think it's going to be okay, double thickness. So I've just literally sealed the flap here and folded the whole thing in half. So now I need to decide what sort of height I want it to be and chop it down. So I'm really having trouble at the moment getting my camera close enough so that you, sorry, I'm sticking my finger in front of the lens, trying to go up a bit so that you can see, you know, everything I'm doing. It's fallen down since I set it up this morning, but without being too far so that you're getting my head in every time I try and do something, you know. So that's a bit wonky for you all, but hopefully that will do for now. Right, so yes, let's sort out the height. So where I've got that at the moment with that little bit, I'm not sure if you can see, I'm putting this just on a line on my mat, and then I'm just having a look at how far up this is, and I would say that that is 1 inch. So I want to leave about the same at the top. So let's have a line up. Where's that coming? That's coming just below the 8. So if I chop it about here, where the 9 mark is, and I think I will have to do this on the guillotine. So I'll just pop you on pause and do that, and I'll be back in a moment. And I'm back again. Sometimes the simplest things are the most difficult to do, aren't they? This was too fat when it was folded to go under the guillotine that way. And when I unfolded it, it was too tall to go that way. So I had to draw a line roughly where I wanted it, and I've cut it with the scissors. So it's not going to be 100% straight, but I'm hoping that by the time it's covered and everything, it won't be too noticeable, and if it is, I'll just have to zhuzh it up with some lace or something. So, excuse me, slurp of tea. So I hope you are all well and happy. It's bank holiday weekend here in Britain, England. We've had the coronation yesterday of King Charles III. So yeah, it's a nice quiet Sunday today. So this fabric I'm going to use on the inside and on the outside. but I think it will be too ambitious of me to try and cover the whole thing in one go. So I'm just debating whether to cover the outside and have a little bit folded over all the way around, and then lay, you know, another piece on top, or whether to just sew it on and then cut it to the right size with the pinking shears once it's sewn round. I think I will try doing the folded edges, because then if it goes wrong I can always cut them off, can't I? And I was umming and ahhing about having a pocket where I'd cut the thing open, but I'm not going to do that, I've decided. So first thing I need to do is get this fabric down to you know, closer to the sort of size we want it to be. So I'm just reaching around for my fabric scissors, and we'll snip that about there and see if it will tear. I was also thinking about doing a bit of patchwork of, so if you think it's going to be about that size, I was going to put a patchwork of different fabrics on this. I literally have just chucked those down randomly to sit under my thing, but I think I prefer it straight onto the plain blue, keep it simple. So that's what I'm doing today. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to glue the envelope to the fabric, and then I'll do the edges, then I'll pop the thing in the middle on the inside, and then I think I'll stitch around the whole thing. I think that's what I'm going to do. So if I pop some glue on here first, and I'm just wondering whether to have, I think I will just reseal this here just to sturdy this edge up a little bit more. So I'm just popping a little bit of glue in there. Now, I'm wondering if there's enough of the other glue to do this. So I'm getting low on this. Right, I think that's definitely going to be a no. Right, I'm not sure if this glue will show through, so I'm hoping it won't. If it does, then that will make me rethink my decoration ideas on the outside, won't it? That's going to be enough. Oh, I've done this the wrong way round, haven't I? I wanted this ridgy bit. Didn't want that showing on the outside. Where this flap is, because that might show through. Oh well, we'll have to deal with that if it does. Too late now. Right, just I'm not coughing because of the glue. I did have here some hand sanitizer for when I'm using glue, but it seems to have disappeared. I expect somebody's borrowed it. Right, now, there's too much of this really, but I might work with it because that will give me some leeway for any mistakes doing the inside. Which I do tend to do. I do tend to make mistakes. And it will, you know, properly protect the edges, because, you know, there's not going to be anything. If this is shorter here, there's not a lot of space for it to come away for any reason it tries to come away. So I think I'm going to leave it nice and wide. So how's this looking on the other side? I don't seem to have any really obvious glue marks. I can see that flap there. It was a bit of a boo-boo, but I can always put something on there to hide that a bit more. And once we decide which way up this is going to be used, it might even be that that's on there, which will make it even less noticeable. So we'll worry about that when we get a bit further down the line. So now I need to just trim my corners. Max was laying fast asleep on the settee, and as soon as he heard me start talking, he's come through to the kitchen and he's making a lot of noise. Don't know if you can hear him. He's booping the lid to my sewing machine. I've got my sewing machine out ready on the other side of the table, and the cover is just sitting on the floor. So he's investigating it. He's, you know, booping it with his nose. Don't know what he thinks is going to happen, but well, there we go. Right, now I'm not confident that I'm going to get really nice neat corners on this because it's quite soft. You know, it's not like making a hard cover, but we'll do our best. So, oh my goodness, this glue's gone everywhere. Yeah, horrible. Right. And I don't need to worry too much about these edges because I am going to be stitching these. I've closed it to stop it going everywhere, and then I'm trying to make it come out and wondering why it's not working. That will come away. We'll pick that off when it's dry. Right, now I need to stand up to do these corners. so my voice will change because I'm probably a bit closer to the microphone. Need a slurp of tea first. Right. Let's see if I can do this neatly. Oh no, I'm not even on my glue mat. I'm trying to fold these corner bits in before I bring the edge over to try and make it as neat as possible on these corners. And my fingers are so sticky, I'm having trouble doing that. It's not brilliant, but this is why I find making hardback journals much easier, because you've got a definite edge to work with, so you can get, you know, quite precise. But when you're, excuse me, I'm just grabbing my glue mat. When you're working with fabric and paper, you know, this is just moving as I'm touching it, so you've got nothing to use, you know, to give you a nice crisp corner. This one didn't leave the fabric long enough, so I haven't got enough there to seal that properly. Obviously didn't plonk my envelope down in the middle. But anyway, that's what we're working with at the moment. So now what I want, just put that up there, wipe my fingers and cut a piece for the middle there to cover the inside. So I'm hoping I can tear this down to size-ish, and then I'm going to go around the edges with my pinking shears to make the edges look better. I haven't done a cover this way before, so I'm trying to do, you know, to try different things. I've got my old favourite, you know, I like making my big hardback journals, but if I never try anything different, you know, I might have a new favourite. I won't know if I don't try. So that's about the right size. So I'm just going to edge this now with my pinking shears. And I'm literally just taking the edges off. I know they won't be straight because I can't cut straight to save my life, no matter how hard I try. This was always my issue with fabric crafts. I love sewing, and I've made a couple of quilts. I really, really love doing it, but because I can't cut straight, it's very difficult. You know, you need to be quite accurate, especially if you're making a, you know, a proper quilt. As I say, my quilts have been I can't think of the word now. Bit random. You still have to be accurate, but it's not as, you know, if you're doing English paper piecing, for example, although you're folding over a template then, so that's probably not a good example, but I know what I'm talking about, even if I can't make myself understood. But yeah, with fabric work, I've always found it very difficult to cut accurately, and that does affect the final outcome of whatever you're making. Even when I use a rotary cutter and a quilting square, you know, the square rulers that you see quilters use, I still manage to go wrong. And you can see there that that is not at all straight, but it's part of the charm. That's why I like junk journals. So I'm going to pop that in there. I'll put some glue in the middle, like I've done on the other side. And then I'm going to take this to the machine and stitch it. Try not to stick any of these random threads anywhere. I don't want lumps. That's how it's looking so far. I'm going to go and stitch around, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back again. That's all done. I really struggle. This is another reason why I've moved back to paper crafts, or I took up paper crafts rather than fabric crafts, is I always tend to somehow stretch my fabric. I don't know if that's to do with the tension when I'm stitching or what I'm doing wrong, but I always seem to stretch the fabric and then I get these puckers everywhere. But it's the best I can do with my skill set. So that is our cover done. It's not too bad. lots of little threads and things everywhere that I will need to take care of, but that's what we are working with. So our topper is going to go on there like that when we're ready. So I think that's turned out all right. I think that's going to look quite nice. It won't be a hidden, you know, where I sew the signature in won't be hidden. You will be able to see it along the spine here, but I will probably put some lace or something on there, A, to cover the strings, and B, to give them a bit of protection. So, but there, that's what we've done today. We've made our cover ready to put together with our journal. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do any more of this on camera, or if the next one you see will be a flip through. It depends how much I'm able to get done, you know, during the day when I'm not able to film. I'm hoping that I'm going to get quite a bit of crafting done today, but I say that every day and it doesn't seem to work out. So I think that's going to be okay, because I'm going to have some tabs and things probably down the edge here, so that's wide enough to give them some protection. It's wide enough, you know, that if it flattens out as I'm sewing the signatures in, I've still got room for it to move a bit. I'm going to think about whether I want pockets or anything on the inside here, which I was going to do before I sewed everything together, but it was too much for me to think about. So that's what we're working with. So it does feel nice. Feels nice and squishy. So yeah, thank you for joining me today. I hope you found that interesting and you've learnt, if not what to do, then what not to do. And I will be back again hopefully in another couple of days. Take care. I'll see you soon and enjoy your own crafty time. Bye bye.